March and April are two of the greatest months for shrub pruning in our area. What we're looking for is a completely dormant state. It's also kind of nice that it's starting to warm up, and that makes it a little bit more pleasing to work. But what we're going to do today is we're going to cut back this amber Jubilee Ninebark. Now this is naturally a 10 to 12 foot shrub. And if you can see, I put it in a pretty tight area knowing that I'm going to be pruning this back every season. One of the things that pruning back a shrub does, it stimulates new growth. That's also going to be stimulating the new color of leaves that you get. And ninebarks being a broad category of purples, oranges, yellows, it's a widely used shrub in our area because it's hardy, it performs. If I were not to cut this back frequently, eventually ninebarks do get a lot of dieback on them. Now, if you've done a lot of reading on shrub pruning, you know, they get real specific about you're supposed to cut something back, you know, right up next to that last bud at an angle. It's just not practical on a shrub. So with a tree, yeah, I'll say you're going to want to do some proper pruning on a tree in that regard. But mostly what I'm going to start doing is just starting to go through and pruning randomly. I'm going to get the majority of my pruning done just with this hand pruners. It's a nice FELCO pruners. I've had it for like 30 years, one of the best tools out there. After we get it mostly rounded up, I'm going to take a look further in and see if there's some of those older canes that need to go. Eventually, ninebark, as I mentioned, tip dieback can be common if you don't prune it back frequently. And also, you will lose older, more mature canes on the lower end of ninebark very frequently. So the first tool we were using to do some of the first cleanup was a handheld FELCO's pruner. This is a Loppers, or at least I call it Loppers. I've heard some people call it a Loppers. But this will help you get into the bigger branches where you can't quite squeeze it or have the hand strength to cut those bigger branches. It's getting a little congested in here, so I'm going to thin that out just a little bit. If you take a close look right in here, it's really congested, so that's one area for sure that I'm going to take out quite a bit of those larger branches. Another characteristic of the ninebarks are that exfoliating bark. You can see how it's peeling away there. That actually could become quite attractive as a winter interest if you're going to leave a ninebark to become quite large. All right, so you might be thinking, man, there's not much left of this shrub anymore. Where the heck does it come back from? Well, since we removed all the terminal buds, there's something called a latent bud that is some more hidden bud within the branches. So we're going to get sprouting from that. Now keep in mind, if you're going to rejuvenate a plant back hard, and you can't do it to everything, but ninebark is one of the greatest ones, it has to be in a pretty good health condition, fertility, moisture. If you've got a drought stress plant and you try to do this, you may or may not have good results. If you try to do it every year and it's stressed, now you're probably going to have a failure on your hands. But since this is a well-maintained area, we do a lot of flowers and such up here in the spring, you can get away with rejuvenating this every year.